Hello everybody, my name is Jacob and I like sports. Welcome back to another edition of JK Sports. Today is finally the day I get to use my new camera to make a video, no longer using that stupid webcam. Audio might not be as good today because I don't have the capability of connecting my external mic to my camera. So I literally, as I'm recording this, have no idea how I sound to you guys. So please bear with me if the audio is not exactly the best. But today, what we got to talk about is stressful. It's stressful. We've just received the news that Ryan Fitzpatrick is not going to be able to go Sunday for the Miami Dolphins when they take on Buffalo Bills up in Buffalo. And we need this game desperately, of course. And on paper, if you look at it, we still have some, I think there was the experts said we have an 85% chance of making the playoffs. And making the playoffs would come through any of four avenues. Either A, we win the game, we're in, don't gotta worry at all. B, C, and D would require any of the Baltimore Ravens to lose, would require the Cleveland Browns to lose, and or require the Colts to lose. If we win and any of those teams lose, we're in. It's just, and that's that. If we win, we get the 5th seed automatically. If we lose and at least one of those teams lose, we are in. But we can get anywhere from the 5th seed, 6th seed, 17th, and 6th seed, 7th seed. And of course, we can still miss the playoffs. So it's a very important week. It's very important that we win this game just to solidify ourselves as the team that gets at least that 5th seed. So you look at it, and the really unfortunate thing is the teams that we need to lose aren't necessarily having the hardest matchups in the world. The team that we really hoped would have a hard chance at winning would be the Cleveland Browns, but they have to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are resting Ben Roethlisberger, resting a multitude of their starters. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts are playing the Houston Texans, which we have their 3rd pick. So it's really conflicting. Do you root for the future? Do you root for the now? But either way, the Colts are heavily favored in that game. And then we have the Baltimore Ravens, who are playing a team, the Cincinnati Bengals, who have been playing a lot better. They started off in the season. We heard they're playing better without Joe Burrow. It's not even a shot at Joe Burrow, but it literally is just weird that they're playing better without Joe Burrow. However, Ravens, Cincinnati, Baltimore should most likely win that game, especially if you look at Baltimore's current form. They're one of the best teams in the league, and it is very conflicting for me because, especially last week going into these things, last week it seemed like it was going to be either Baltimore or the Dolphins that missed it because you had the Cleveland Browns going against the Jets. Of course, they lost. However, nobody really expected them to lose going into last week. And you have the Colts playing the Steelers. The Steelers have been playing very poor recently. So I expected it to just be us versus the Ravens. However, both these teams are in now. And I think the Ravens are all but guaranteed in, like I say, playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Those teams that are already in it, being us, Cleveland, and the Ravens, all we have to do is win. The Colts are the team that have to rely on somebody else losing. They are playing this week, again, of course, against the Houston Texans. And they need somebody to lose. But the Miami Dolphins are, of course, what we're here to talk about. And going into the game without Ryan Fitzpatrick, so somebody we've been able to rely on all year. He started the first, I believe, 7 games for us this season and came. And Fitz was put to the bench for Tua, of course, that game against the Rams. And Tua started all but one game since, that one game where he hurt his thumb. And last week, well, Tua didn't play bad, but he wasn't a difference maker. He was 17 for 22. He had a touchdown to Myles Gaskin. However, he didn't do enough to influence the game. And that's why Flores was, again, confident enough to make the decision to bench Tua, knowing what that means, what all the spotlight's going to be like. Do you play Fitz? Do you play Tua? Knowing that he's making a hard decision to go to that journeyman 17-year quarterback when you got your hopeful franchise quarterback already on the field. But, of course, 17 for 22 and 93 yards and 1 touchdown against, let's be real, not the best defense in the world. That's not going to cut it. So you got to make a decision to who do you start coming into week 17. And even before we found out Fitz was out, he already said, hey, Tua's the guy. Tua's starting for us week 17. And quite frankly, you guys know I'm a Tua fan, and I support that decision. I believe that you got to see what this kid, if he can prove his worth. Can he go in a very difficult situation and win the game for us? So now if Tua is healthy. So I'm recording this without knowing whether Tua has got COVID from Fitzpatrick or even just been within like close enough proximity to him to be considered that we consider that he can't play. If Fitz can't play and Tua can't play, things are gonna look. We would at that point need most likely one of those teams to lose, be it Browns, Ravens, Colts. We would really be banking on that because no Tua, no Fitzpatrick. I don't even remember who our practice squad quarterback is. We have 2 former college quarterbacks on the roster in Lynn Bowden and Malcolm Perry, excuse me. So I don't know if Tua's out. I don't know what we would do at that point. But as of now, I'm going to assume that Tua's playing. I want to be optimistic and say that he's going to play. So what does this all mean? What does this mean for Tua? What does this mean for the Dolphins that Tua is going in there without Ryan Fitzpatrick? And the way I'm looking at it is, you know what? I like it. I look at it for a few reasons. A, and what I'm most hopeful of, it gives Tua the opportunity to go into the game and say, I hear all the doubters, I hear everybody saying that I can't do anything. Not that I can't do anything, but I can't bring my team to a win. The defense has been carrying us, and the media is starting to say, like, hey, is Tua really a guy? Tua has the opportunity to go out and squash that and prove that he is the Miami Dolphins quarterback. It gives him the opportunity to have a light underneath him saying, hey, I need to go out and play, because everybody's known that Fitzpatrick is capable to go into the game at any point, and we saw last week with the Raiders getting his head almost yanked off. He helps us win the game when Tua couldn't. But this week, it's a burn the ships. There's no going back. He's got to do it all by himself. And that could also lead us to the second part of this thing. Is like, what if Tua struggles? What if we miss the playoffs because Tua couldn't win us the game? That brings in the conversation of what do you do in the draft? As things stand right now, we have the 3rd pick in the draft. And if Tua doesn't play well, you have to, at minimum, consider using that pick as a quarterback. We all know number 1 pick this year is going to be Jacksonville Jaguars taking Trevor Lawrence. They can just bookmark that in like almost as well. No, even more of a guarantee than last year's Bengals having the number 1 pick and drafting Joe Burrow. That's even more of a guarantee. They can literally say it right now, and nobody would even bat an eye, because we all know Trevor Lawrence is a historic prospect. With no second thoughts in my mind, would say, scrap it. We're going to draft Trevor Lawrence if we had that opportunity. If we could draft Trevor Lawrence, I'm not even thinking about, maybe we have Tua. No, gone. Bring in Trevor Lawrence. However, of course, unless the Jaguars make arguably one of the dumbest decision in sports history, which I don't think is going to happen, that means the Jets are going to be at the clock at number 2. Now, at number 2, I think, honestly, that they're going to keep Sam Darnold. So that leaves them to, A, draft somebody with that number 2 pick. There's the offensive lineman. Penei Sewell. I don't know the guy's name. Offensive tackle out of Oregon, who skipped the season, who's a beast on the offensive line. They could go there. Or they could trade the pick and someone comes and takes Justin Fields with the number 2 pick. However, that leaves the Dolphins with the debate on either A, if they don't take a player and Fields is still available to us, do we take Fields? Or B, even if Tua struggles, do we take someone like Zach Wilson? Do we take someone like Trey Lance? If he comes out and struggles, those conversations at minimum need to occur. And Chris Greer, Brian Flores are smart people who they're going to be able to watch this game and know, like, hey, is Tua the guy? Is he going to be able to lead us Week 17 in a must-win game to get into the playoffs? All we have to do is win. All we got to do is win, baby. Winning ain't everything, but it's the only thing. I probably butchered that saying. Don't care. We got to win. Can Tua do it for us? Fitzpatrick's not there to back him up. Chan Gailey's not going to be able to baby him through the entire game. He's going to have to rely on Tua to win us the game. Can he do it? I'm not sure. I would really like to hear from you guys. Do you think Tua is going to be able to come out and ball out. Now, the Buffalo Bills are, what's being reported about the Bills is that the Bills are going to play their starters, but only for the first series or two, maybe a full quarter, getting maybe even into the second quarter. However, they're expected to play them in the beginning and rest them for the remainder of the game. The Chiefs did that 2 years ago when they had the 1 seed. I'm not sure if the Ravens. I think the Ravens last year didn't play their starters in their remainder in their last game, and we already know that Pittsburgh's benching Big Ben. I believe Patrick Mahomes is also being benched. So Josh Allen's going to come in there for a little bit, play a little bit, but then it's going to be the Dolphins against Matt Barkley. It's going to be Dolphins against their second string or third string receivers. That defense definitely needs to step up and help Tua out. However, Tua needs to help himself. Tua needs to help the team and prove that he's a winner. If he wins, if we win with limited receiving options, limited running game, and Tua, let's say Tua balls out, gets 2 touchdowns, 250 yards, no interceptions, I'd be happy with that. And we get into the playoffs, and then we just go from there, see what happens from there. Like, okay, at least we're seeing progress. At least we're seeing that, you know what, he can win the big game. He won the big game in Alabama. He won the national championship game. He fought like heck in the game against LSU last year when he was on 1 foot. He has shown up in the big moments, but also in the big moments he's had those Alabama teams which were really stacked on with the wide receivers. This team does not have the plethora of options at wide receiver. I saw a stat that Tua is second in the league in throwing contested passes. That's because our receivers don't get open. He's not used to not having wide open receivers. Being a young quarterback, he's had a hard time figuring out how to break down defenses. That is a criticism I will give him, is that he hasn't done well as he did in Alabama of seeing the play in front of him and figuring out, okay, where do I need to go to? Where does the ball need to go to? They don't have that right now. We don't have a receiver that is always going to find a way to get themselves open. So let's see if he can come out with the limited options we have, see if he can ball out for us, and hopefully lead us to the playoffs. But if not, we all know at least we need to consider going the other direction. But please let me know down in the comments below what you think Tua is going to do. Do you think he's going to ball out? Do you think we're going to the playoffs? Or do you think he's going to prove he's not the guy, and for the third time this year show that he's not as good as we may have thought he was? Please let me know in the comments down below. Please let me know how excited you are that the playoffs are about to be here. Please let me know what you think of the camera. Again, I need advice what to do with camera, like this new camera. It's my first ever actual camera, so I don't know proper settings. I don't know proper anything. I literally just turned it on and recording right now. I don't have the mic. Mic's over here down on the floor, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to upload this because of the audio. So, all that being said, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the games on Sunday. Go Dolphins. Bye-bye.